Hi guys, this is Vishal here from DrapCode. So in this video, we will understand how to fetch the details of a single record or a single row in Supabase. So we are basically building a series of tutorial where we are doing an end-to-end integration with Supabase, where Supabase being used as a data source. So everything is residing inside a Supabase collection or Supabase database, and we are just building front end on DrapCode where we are pulling data from Supabase, displaying a list of items, creating records, deleting, updating, and doing all those things. So here we'll see how to fetch a single record or a single item in Supabase. So we have covered topics where we have displayed the list of items which are directly coming from Supabase. So here there are 7 items. If I go to Supabase, so this is how my collection looks like. So we have a product collection and a review. So we are currently displaying the list of products. Okay. So now what I want to do, I want to create a details page where I want to display the details of an individual product. So let's see how this can be done. So what I'll do, I'll go to my DrapCode and create a page. So as of now, we have home page and a product create page. So let's add one page where we say display the list of or display the details of that particular product. Okay. So I'll say product details page. Okay, and then I'll just copy from my list page so that I don't have to design it again. Okay, so the page got created successfully. Now let's remove this. We don't need collection form, and I'll just change it to product list page. Product list, and change the link to product list page, which is a home page. Now I want to display the details of a product. So let's build some design. Let's use some pre-built layout. So let's display this one. Okay. So let's say this is my product details page. Here we'll display the name of the product and some other fields. Okay. So before that, we'll need to do 2 things. First, we'll need to fetch the data from Supabase, and then we'll need to bind the collection to this page so that we can use the fields. So let's do one by one. So first of all, to fetch the data, we'll need to create an external API. So external API is a module where you basically make a REST API call to any other third-party data source and fetch the data, push the data, and do all those things. So we already have 2 APIs. So one is where we are fetching the list of records, and second, a post call where we are just updating or basically creating a new record. So now let's create an external API to fetch an individual record. Okay, so let's say fetch individual product details, and this is going to be a get call. Now I want to see how this API looks like. So what I'll do, I'll go back to my Supabase, go to the API, and let's see which API is needed. So here, this is the API documentation of the product for the project on which we're working. So we'll say read rows. So here we want to basically read rows. So I'll just copy this URL. Okay, I want to fetch all the columns. I'll just copy, paste, which is fine. In the headers, we need to pass 2 things like API key. So I'll just say API key, and value is this. So this is specific to my project. So it will change for your project. Other is authorization, which is authorization, and bearer and the token, which is fine. Now, okay, I think we'll have to send something. So let's see. So to fetch an individual record, I think we'll need to use this one. So this API say fetch by ID. So I want to fetch a specific record with a specific ID. So these are the IDs. So let's say if I want to fetch record number 2 with ID 2, it will bring this data. If I'll say record 11, it will bring this data. So this is how it will fetch. So we want to fetch on the basis of ID. To fetch on the basis of ID, we need to pass this parameter ID is equal to ID. So these are all like query parameters. So you can fetch on the basis of ID. You can fetch on the basis of name, whatever details you want to fetch, right? But since ID is unique, we are going to fetch on the basis of ID. So I'll copy it here. ID is equal to ID and select star. Okay, now if I make a API call, it will fetch the record with ID 1, but this is not the case with us, right? Here we want to pass this one dynamically. We want to say that, okay, if the person is looking for product 5, fetch product 5. If the person is looking for product 20, fetch 20. Okay, so now let's do the mapping. So I'll say non-persistent collection item, choose the collection which is product. Okay, why we are doing so? Because the product is not stored, it is there in the table. So we are saying, okay, whatever the ID is for that particular record in the table, just pass that ID. Okay, now we'll do the mapping. So I just need the ID, so I'll just choose ID, and here let's say PID, let's say, okay, product ID. Now we'll just, instead of giving hard-coded ID1, we will just make it as a variable. So to make it variable, you just need to wrap it into double curly braces and PID. So now this will be dynamic for each particular record. That's all. Now we are saying once the response comes, map it to a collection. Don't store it anywhere, just map it to a collection and pass on to the new page. So the collection is product. Okay, so the record comes. So if you want to see how the JSON looks like, so this is something how the data comes. So everything is at the root level. So I'll just do the mapping where we'll say name will get binded to name. So uniquely identifiable column is ID, name is name, description is description, price is price. So here I've just made a dummy colon postman. You can use Supabase, you can use Swagger, whatever you want to use, just so that we know what are the keys on which the values are coming. So now I have binded it to my product collection, that whatever the response is coming from Supabase, just bind it to my product collection structure so that I can use that same to display on table, in form, or on a details page. So here we are building details page, so we will be using it on details page. So I'll say save setting. So now I have created my connection where it is fetching individual record and the ID is getting passed dynamically. Okay, so now let's go to the details page and let's map this. So now on the product details page, we'll go to the settings and here we'll say bind collection. So we are saying bind product collection. By default, it brings from the DrapCode database, but here we are saying don't bring from DrapCode database, bring from external API. Then it is asking which external API. We'll say fetch individual product details. So this is the external API which we just created, which will fetch the data of that particular record from Supabase in the real time. So I'll say update. So this has now binded the collection product and the collection is getting its value from Supabase. So I'll reload the page so that we can bind the fields of that particular with the fields of the page. Okay. So let's say here we want to display the product name. So I'll say get text from product. So this is the option which you are getting only when you binded the collection to this details page. Otherwise this option was not there. So I'll say name. Description. Let's display date, manufacturing date, and let's display price. And let's just change the name of the button to, let's say, byproduct. Okay, that's it. Now let's go and bind this page to the list page. So there we create a button and it will bring us to an individual product details page. So I'll go to my list page. Let's add a view details button here. So I'll go to my link and I'll just say drop a button. It is going to product details page. I want to send the ID of individual product to this detail page. So what I'll do, I'll say from parent component, choose ID. So you bind the parent component and then you bind the ID because you want to pass the ID to the details page and we'll see it working, how that actually works. Okay, so this is fine. I'll change the text to view details, or let's say just view. I'll remove these classes, okay, and add bootstrap classes because DrapCode works on bootstrap framework. So you can use any bootstrap classes. Okay, btn warning. So that's it. Now let's go and reload this page. So now there should be one button. The button will take us to a details page with the ID of that particular record. The details page will make a call to Supabase, get the details or the individual record and display. So let's reload the page. So these type of use cases are needed when you want to build a details page or a view page or a show page for a specific data item or a specific row. So the list page is here. So it has the view button. So now if you see the view button, you will see the ID. If you see the URL, but let's go. So let's say this product 4. Now I say, okay, let's go to product 4. So I click product 4. It has redirected to me the product details page with ID, which is 4. So now what it will do, it will make a call to Supabase, fetch the details of product 4 and bind it here. So this is in preview mode, so that's why it's a bit slow, but otherwise when you publish it, you won't see these dummy values. Actually, these are not dummy values, these are the actual values. Okay, so product 4, all these things. Now let's go and see some other product. So let's say product 7. This is the one which we created during the create flow. So the ID is 18. So here it has redirected to the product 18 and the details is here, which is product 7. This is the description, manufacturing date and the price. Similarly, if I go to product 3, so the ID is 3 and the name is product 3, description, date, price, right? So this is basically a details page where every time data is getting fetched from Supabase for that individual record. And we have seen how to basically create an API to fetch an individual record from Supabase. So we have created this particular REST API to fetch the details of individual records from Supabase. So these are use cases which are needed. Let's say you are building a details page, show page, or even edit page where you want to show the data pre-filled, which we will cover in the next video. Hope this is clear now. See you again. Bye-bye.